In today's video, we're going to talk about which Tradeify account is best. And no, I'm not just talking about the straight the funded accounts. However, I want to let you guys know right now, Tradeify is having 30% off all accounts, 40% off for new customers. Just simply use the link in the description box down below, and you can use the code right up here where it says spring to ensure you get the best deal right now. So now, once you've clicked the link in the description box down below to get the Tradeify's website, we scroll on down. Let's take a look at some of the accounts. Now, the most popular accounts out there are the straight to sim funded accounts. Right now, I do have a 50K straight to sim funded account. I've been thinking about trying out the 100K or maybe even the 150K account. Yes, I know these accounts are expensive. However, with the discount, the 50K account right now is like $370, $380-ish. But one of the things that traders like about this type of account is the fact that you do not have to go through an evaluation phase. If we come right up here to where the help center is, and we click right over here where it says payouts and withdrawals, we look at the straight to sim funded account payout policies, we can see what makes this very, very enticing. Traders receive 90% of any profits. And we look at what the payout requirements are, you must abide by the 20% consistency rule, which means no one day should be greater than 20% of the total profits made in that time period. Now, with this account, you must trade a minimum of 10 days to be eligible for a payout. If we scroll right down here, we can see the payout profit goal tables for the 50K account, which is the account that I have. For payout number 1, we must make $3,000. Then we can go ahead and request a payout. For payout number 2 and payout number 3, we only have to make $2,000 in order to request a payout. Now, there is a payout window. There's 3 of them, the 1st through the 4th, the 11th through the 14th, and the 21st through the 24th. And I got to be honest with you, I have received the payout with Tradeify, and I got to be honest with you, it is extremely fast. The payout is approved and sent over to Rise and can be in your bank account very, very fast. Now, if we look at how much we can request out of each account size, if you look at the 50K account, which is the account that I have, I can request a maximum of $2,000 for the first 3 payouts. After the first 3 payouts, I can request $2,500. So if you don't like the pricing of the straight to funded, or you just prefer to take the evaluations, here's where Tradeify is a little bit different than a lot of other companies out there. A lot of companies either have what's called the end of the day drawdown or an intraday trailing drawdown. If we look right here and we click on advanced, we can see you can get a 50K account for only $69. If we come over and look at the drawdown type, it's an intraday trailing drawdown. So if you've ever traded with Apex Trader Funding, it is very similar to that. Now, if you have to reset this account, it's only $45. And once you do pass, there is a $125 activation fee. Now, the max trailing drawdown is $2,000, which is a little bit less than Apex's trailing drawdown. Now, if we come right over here to the growth and we look at the 3 different accounts, 50K, 100K, 150K account, we can see that this account is a little bit more expensive, $139. We can see that there is a daily loss limit of $1,250, and that's the same daily loss limit that they give you in the straight to sim funded accounts. Now, you get a trailing drawdown of $2,000, but in this case, the drawdown mode is end of the day. And what makes this account very appealing, if you don't like paying those pesky activation fees, we can see there is 0 activation fee once you've passed the account. So upfront, you're paying a little bit more, $139, compared to the advance where you're only paying $69. But once you pass the advance, then you do have to pay $125. So if we pull out the handy dandy calculator, we can see $69 plus $125. Your all-in cost to get funded with the advanced account would be $194. In the growth account for that same 50K account, you're only paying $139. And once you pass, there is no activation fee. Now the difference between a 100K and 150K account is essentially the price, the amount of drawdown that we get, the number of contracts that can be traded, and your profit objective. So that's something you want to take into consideration when you're thinking about which account would be best for me. For your trading strategy, how large of a drawdown do you need? Keep in mind, as you go up in account sizes, the daily loss limit, which is a soft breach, meaning that if you do hit the daily loss limit for the day, you're only locked out for the day. At 6 p.m. that night, you're ready to go ahead and trade again. So now let's come over and take a look at the payout policies for the growth and the advanced plan. Once again, we'll scroll right up here to the top of the page where it says Help Center. Then from there, we'll scroll down to where it says payouts and withdrawals. Then from there, we'll click on, instead of straight to funded like we did earlier, we'll go to advanced and growth account payout policies. We simply click on that. We can see once again, traders receive 90% of any profits. Now, if we look at the requirements, there is a consistency rule. It's a little bit higher than what we saw in the straight to sim funded account. The consistency rule is 35%, which means no one day should be greater than 35% of the total balance when you go ahead to request a payout. Now you can see we must trade a minimum of 10 days. Then here's where it's a little bit different. 5 or more trading days must show a profit greater than, and this is going to be dependent upon the account size. In the 50K account, 5 days must be greater than $150, which means half of the required trading days must be over $150. The 100K account, you must make at least $200 for 5 of those days. And in the 150K account, at least 5 of those days must be greater than $250. Here's where it's a little bit different as well. We look at what the minimum balance is needed to go ahead and request a payout. In the advanced account, there are different between the advanced and the growth account. The minimum balance needed in the 50K account is $5,200 and $100 in order to be able to request a payout. If we look at that compared to the growth plan, it's the same exact $5,200 and $1. However, where it's a little bit different is if you look at the 100K accounts, you need $103,100 in the advanced account, and in the growth account, you need $103,600 as your balance before you can go ahead and request a payout. You look at the 150K account, it'll be $155,100, which is essentially $5,100 of profit before you can request a payout. So you're probably wondering, Mike, when can we request a payout? It's the same 3 times per month as we saw in this straight to sim funded accounts. If we look at the payout tiers real quick, we can see payout number 1 for the 50K account, the increases every single time. You can get $1,500 out the first time, $1,700 out the $1,750 out the second time, the third time, $2,000, the fourth time, $2,250, the fifth time, $2,500, and the sixth time would be $3,000. So we see how these plans differ in terms of payouts, costs, consistency rules, and such. And if you guys have traded with Tradeify in the past, let me know which account type do you guys like best. Is it the advanced plans? Is it the growth plans or the straight to sim funded accounts?